Hi, and welcome to our newest show on EdTV. It's going to be a little bit of art, a little bit of craft, and a little bit of history. And on today's show, I'm going to show you how to make a stained glass mosaic. For those of you who don't know, mosaics are pictures that are made with small pieces of tile, stone, or glass to make a pattern. And today's show, we're going to be using glass. So I'm going to go over what you're going to need to do this project. First, you're going to buy an inexpensive frame at any one of the arts and crafts store. I got this for $12, and this will be your finished product, believe it or not. Secondly, you're going to have a drawing the size of the frame, which is 16 by 20. This is the template that I used to create my stained glass window. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it onto the back of the glass of the frame. And that will guide you as you're gluing your glass pieces onto the frame. So let's get that taped on. You know, mosaics have been around for 4,000 years. They were first found in the Byzantine Empire, wherever that was. And they were terracotta mosaics. And the Greeks, several hundred years later, perfected the technique using different colored stones. But mosaic today is more than just a craft. It really is an art form. So let me tape this down real quick. Okay, so here you go. This is the piece of glass from the frame. And as you can see, I've taped a template on the back of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut pieces of glass and glue it onto the frame and follow the pattern. So to do this, you'll need some glass. I have a tub of different colors here. As you can see, they're all different size pieces. You can buy glass at a stained glass window store. For those who don't have one close, you can also buy glass very inexpensively online. They also sell packages of glass fragments that you can purchase for very inexpensive, and those are fine for what we're doing because we're going to cut it anyway. Now, whenever you're working with glass, you really have to take a couple of safety precautions. So I have leather gloves that I'm working with here, as you can see. And also, whenever you cut glass, you really do need to wear safety goggles. So I'm going to look really cute in just a second. When I put on my safety goggles and my gloves. But you never know when those shards are going to fly. So you have your template, and you have any clear, strong glue. I like Aleene's tacky glue, because it dries clear and it's very strong. It's stronger than Elmer's. To cut the glass, you're going to need what's called a nippers. Now this is a special kind that's for glass. As you can see, it's got two wheels that cut the glass into smaller pieces. And as you go, it just a little bit of pressure, and it's going to cut the glass. And as you get used to this, you'll be able to make triangles, make rectangles, whatever it is that you need. So as you can see, you definitely want to be wearing safety glasses when you're doing this. So I'm just going to cut some pieces. Now, for a mosaic piece like this, you should determine ahead of time what size you like your pieces to be. Obviously, the smaller the pieces, the more work it is for you, but also the better that a mosaic looks. So I would say you're going to cut pieces down to, that's like a 1/4 inch square. I have some triangles here that are also very small, as you see. The best thing to do is to cut a bunch of the colors that you're going to need ahead of time. When you start gluing down the glass, you don't want to stop and have to cut more glass. So make yourself a pile of the different colors that you're going to use. I have some blue here, and let's see. I'll get some blue-green. We'll cut some of that. As you can see, it cuts very easily into squares, but you do get these shards that come off, so be careful. And just so you know, I'm doing this on the glass. I've done this before, so I kind of know what to expect, how the glass is going to behave. If you're doing this for the first time, you may want to do this to the side and create piles of the glass pieces that you're going to be using to glue down. As you can see, they fly all over the place. But all of these small pieces you're going to be able to use for your pattern. So you want to save them all. Okay, so that shows you a little bit about how, and these pieces are very sharp. So you really do want to use some leather gloves when you're handling the glass. And the glass comes in a rainbow of colors. It's just beautiful, all the different patterns and styles of glass they have. So really let your imagination go crazy and pick out some colors and some different finishes on the glass. You can find it all online if you can't get to a stained glass window store. Okay, so that's enough for me to get started on doing some gluing. So when we come back, I'm going to show you how we adhere to the template and how we're going to start seeing a pattern form on the glass. Stay with us. Thanks.
You are watching EdTV.
When?
Now.
You are watching EdTV.
You're watching EDTV. EdTV, okay.
It doesn't look like a window. That's all, folks.
Hi, welcome back. We're making a stained glass mosaic today, and I've shown you how to create your template with your design on a just a simple frame. I've laid out some glass pieces for one section of the drawing, and what you'll do is once you have your pieces down and you know you have enough, you're going to start piece by piece individually picking them up and applying some glue. They call this buttering in the mosaic business. And you just adhere them to the glass. You have a couple of minutes to move. So if you put down a piece and it doesn't quite match the lines and it doesn't quite look right, you can move it a little bit. But one of the things about this glue that's nice is that it is fast drying and it is very strong. You'll notice that I did take my gloves off. It's very hard to do this kind of detailed work with gloves on. So I would just warn you that this is glass you're working with. So be very careful when you pick up the pieces and lay them back down. And this starts, once you get used to this, it goes faster than it looks now. This is an ordinary paintbrush. Use one of your crappy ones because you can wash the glue out when you're done, but you're not going to want to use it for painting again. So you're just going to use one of your older pieces, and as you can see, I've got, in that amount of time, a 3x3, and I'm making a blue tree here. This is just for showing you. And as you can see, I'm going to pick up the piece now and show you that it is already adhered onto the glass, and you will not see the template. You're going to remove that once you're done, so you'll have the whole pattern. And you are going to continue at this excruciating pace to fill in the entire painting. Now, you should leave about a 1/4 inch in between the pieces of glass for grouting. That's what's the glue will adhere it to the glass temporarily, but the grout is what's going to really hold it in place forever. So as you can see, I've left a 1/4 inch or so in between the small pieces that I've already glued onto the frame. Okay, so this appears to be very tedious, and it can be tedious. As you get used to the pattern, you start moving a little faster, so you do get quicker at it. But I'll tell you, when I'm mosaicing something, my attention is completely on what I'm doing. I'm looking for pieces that fit into an area. I'm not thinking about anything else but my project, which is very therapeutic for me. Put on the music and just relax and start gluing glass to glass. Some of the glue has gotten onto the frame. That's okay, don't worry about that. It's gonna dry 100% clear. It's very thin, and you'll still have room for the grout. While each individual piece may not look like artwork, when you get the whole thing done, that's when you're gonna see the beauty of it. So stay with us, and I'm gonna show you how to grout this when you come back.
You are watching
EdTV.
You are watching.
You are watching. You are watching.
You are watching EdTV.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Hi, welcome back. On today's show, we're creating a stained glass window mosaic. What we've done is we've taken the innards of a very inexpensive frame from one of the craft stores, taken out the glass, and taped a template onto the glass to guide us when we glue down our glass pieces. Then we took some colored glass, which we've cut into small pieces using our leather gloves for safety and our eyewear, because the glass pieces can fly around when you're cutting those, and started gluing down with a nice tacky glue the small pieces onto the frame, onto the picture. Once you have the picture entirely covered with your glass pieces and you're happy with the way it looks, you're gonna let it sit overnight. The glue dries pretty quick, but I would say let it sit and set for about 12 hours. And then the next part is the grouting. This is what's going to make the picture look like a stained glass window, and it's going to keep it permanent. So you're going to go to the tile section of your Home Depot or your Lowe's and buy a bag of sanded grout. Now I have with me here a mask, because if you're going to make a lot of grout, the dust flies all over the place and it's not healthy for you. So if you're going to make a big bucket of grout, you really should have on the mask. Okay, so you're gonna open up the bag of grout. It looks like sand. This is sanded grout. And just pour. I just use a little, see the dust coming off? I'm just gonna stand back. That is not something that you wanna breathe. Grout comes in all kinds of different colors. It also comes in white if you want to, and there's some additives that you can put in the grout to color it if you'd like to have your mosaics with colored grout. I'm kind of a purist and I always use gray. So just pour in a little bit of water into the cup and start stirring. The consistency that you're going to look for is kind of like pancake batter, like thick pancake batter. And they want you to stir this for a couple of minutes. I use craft sticks, so you can throw those away. One thing to remember with grout, folks, you don't want to get rid of this in your sinks because it'll harden and it'll clog up your sinks. So anything that you use for grout, either reuse it and always use it for grout or throw it away. Now I usually use a pair of dish gloves to take the grout and put it onto whatever I'm grouting. And you need, with you need a bucket of water, some sponges, and some paper towels. Because what you're gonna do, you're gonna let the grout sit for 10 minutes to let it cure for a little bit. And then you're gonna take the grout and just place it onto, I'm gonna use my stick, place it onto your mosaic piece. You're gonna go angles, go at an angle so it gets into all the cracks. Now the grout is going to take several hours to dry, so you do have some time on this. You're gonna let the grout set for about 15 minutes in the cracks before you start wiping off the excess and seeing your finished pattern. So what you're gonna need is a bucket of water and some rags or some sponges. These are gonna get filthy, so don't be using the good ones. I have a bag of old sponges that I use just for this purpose. You're gonna rinse it out so it's almost dry. It's not dripping wet, it's just damp. And then you're just gonna wipe off the excess grout. This part gets very messy. I usually do my grouting outside. As you can see, you're gonna get the grout off the tops of each piece. Now, you don't want to let this sit too long because grout that has dried on tile or glass or stone is very difficult to remove. So you do want to get this off within, definitely within a half an hour of grouting. So I am just finishing off and I'm polishing up each piece, getting off the excess grout. And sometimes there'll be a little haze on the piece, on the pieces of tesserae, it's called, whatever materials you're using for mosaicing. Don't worry about that because you can polish the piece up when it's completely dry. So I'm going to show you this piece, how it's going to look when the pieces are grouted. As you can see, the glass is showing, the glass pieces are showing, but it's got the grout in the middle. And when we take off this template, you won't see that anymore. You're just gonna see the glass pieces and the pattern that you've created on your frame. And then you just let it dry, and that is it. It is not that difficult. If I can do it, anyone can do it because I'm not an artist. When we come back, I'm going to show you the finished product. So please stay with us.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
everybody. Welcome back. So today I've taken you through the ancient art of mosaicing. Showed you how that you can create your own stained glass window mosaic at home. As I told you, mosaics have been used for more than 4,000 years to decorate floors, ceilings, walls. This piece I have created a light box and I hang it over the mantle in my living room. This is the template that I used to create the piece. So this is actually an old painting of my mother that was lost, and we found it again. I blew up the picture at a Kinko's, or I guess they're called FedEx now. So here's the finished piece. This is what I took. I had my template on the glass. I glued down all the pieces, and this was the final product. Now you can do many things with this. What I did was had a box built and had lights put behind it so that when I hang it above my mantle in my living room, you can see it. And as you can see, it's much more colorful and you can appreciate the glass when it's lit from behind. This was a project very near and dear to my heart, and I hope you enjoyed today's show here on EdTV. And please come back the next time when we have a little bit of art, a little bit of history, a little bit of crafting for you. Thanks very much.